Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Just to introduce myself, my name is Donovan Volk. I am the Director of Business Development here at SysGen Solutions. We are an IT provider serving the Okanagan and have been for more than a decade. And we are very excited today to be able to share this presentation with you. We've entitled it Grant the Power of Digital Transformation because it involves a significant grant from the Government of Canada to help you transform your business. Today, I'd like to just share the agenda real quickly and what we're going to cover in the next 20 minutes. I'm going to begin by talking a little bit about SysGen and who we are and why we're presenting today, but then we'll get right into the Canada Digital Adoption Program and what it is, who it's for, and what's available to help your business grow. We'll finish it off with some details around how the program actually is executed, how our role as a certified digital advisor pertains to the program, and then what your benefit is coming out of the Canada Digital Adoption Program. We'll finish it off with some questions and answers if there are any, and we'll make sure that we're out of here because it is lunch hour, and make sure everyone gets back to their lunch and their business very quickly. I'd like to begin by thanking the Downtown Vernon Association and Kalen for his support as the executive director in getting this presentation out and the word out to all of the members of the Downtown Vernon Association. We're extremely pleased to be able to partner with DVA, and we'll be looking forward to a number of other events coming up this year to, again, share more information about programs and services that are available to you to help your business grow and be protected in this increasingly dangerous world of cybersecurity. So who is SysGen? Well, I'd like to share with you that we're a local team of over 100 technology professionals. Now, let me clarify that just a little bit. Our company is over 100 people. Here locally, we have about a half a dozen local Okanagan team members who support our clients in this area. But more importantly, those members have access to our bigger, broader team of IT professionals when they need it for those specialized services or information sharing that they need to help address your particular problems. What do we do? Well, we're at our heart an IT services company. We are a very proactive and strategic-oriented IT services company that really has taken and moved away from the help desk model that most companies have. Even when you have a local service person, oftentimes your first point of contact is a help desk who has very little knowledge or understanding of your business. And we really tried to change that. Our model is different. It's a fractional IT dedicated service model where you get named service technicians who are the primary people who deal with your account. They deliver everything that you see here from a core service perspective. Managed IT services at its heart, making sure your desktop and laptops and network infrastructure are all running. But we can make sure that we have all of those other areas covered. Managed security, cloud environments, getting you into Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services. We can even do strategy and assessments, which is a big part of what we're going to talk about today, and helping you with some of those brand new collaboration tools that Microsoft is building into its platform each and every day. Again, the biggest difference is how we engage with you. And our model is simple. It is that dedicated team of high-end technical resources that we bring into every account. We make sure that our people are really the best of the best. We try to hire people that are not just technically capable, but really can grow to understand your business and how you want to operate and how to help you. So that when you call in, you're not treated just like a number at a help desk. You're really a VIP. And our clients, our service technicians, make sure that you feel that. How we support you on a bigger, broader basis is, like I said, those 100+ IT professionals really surround your dedicated service team and provide additional expertise if and when it's needed. No IT person can be a specialist in everything. The industry is just far too sophisticated and complex for that nowadays. So we have various groups at SysGen that can help add that deeper experience from an industry perspective and from a technical level to be able to support your account when it's required in areas like cybersecurity or very simply purchasing. It's a pretty complex process to go and get pieces of equipment, unless you're buying everything from Costco, which I wouldn't advise. As good as it might be for your home office, when it comes to business equipment, we really do recommend using commercial grade equipment. It makes a big difference when it comes to managing your infrastructure, and you get actually a longer life out of your equipment. So the overall investment is a better way to do it. And our purchasing people can help. Because we buy on behalf of hundreds of clients, we buy millions of dollars a year of equipment, we can help you get the best deal. Now, when something breaks, we're the guys that you call. But not every technician, like I said, knows everything that there is to know about everything that might happen in your business. So we have those dedicated areas, specialty people who deal just with servers and network, a dedicated team of professionals who just deal with cloud services like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure. We also have our very own proprietary cloud service that can provide a specialized infrastructure that doesn't have to sit on your property. It can actually exist in the cloud and provide you that extra level of resilience and business continuity. And like I said, you have access to these people regardless of whether or not you are a Kelowna-based organization, Vernon, or anywhere else in BC. We provide services all across the interior of BC to clients that are hundreds of miles away or right down the street. We really do want to become your IT department. That is the basis of how our company has grown and really why we're here today, to bring you some additional specialized knowledge. So the Canada Digital Adoption Program is the foundation of what we're going to talk about today that can really help your business grow. I became aware of this program about 3 to 4 months ago and was excited because this essentially is the government of Canada really helping small businesses. Most of the time when you hear about how is government going to help, it's through some specialized program that's impossible to access, it has too many loopholes, and it just doesn't apply to you. This is actually different. And SysGen, our company, is really well positioned to provide this advisory service because, well, in fact, we've been doing this for the last 10 to 15 years as a part of our normal onboarding of any of our customers. We do a deep dive, detailed assessment of their environment and provide recommendations for the future. And that's what this program is about. To get into it a little bit more, the Canada Digital Adoption Program is intended for small and medium-sized businesses. And I'm going to give you the criteria in just a minute, but it allows you to access a grant that gives you the ability to get a digital adoption plan completed to help identify which areas of your business are in most need of potentially an added service or an investment to improve its security or overall performance. Now, there's two different types of grants that are available. The first grant is a $2,400 online business grant. This is very limited. This just focuses on what you're doing on your website and how you might become more of a digital front end and maybe provide purchasing or shopping services on your site. That's really limited, and not every business really needs that. Where the bigger advantage is in the program that we're focused on, and that's the Boost Your Business Technology Grant. Here, you're eligible for up to $15,000 in grant money from the Government of Canada to help you identify where you can help your business grow from a technology perspective. Now, again, I think this is a great point. The government covers 90% of the cost. This makes it different from other government programs that can be abused by companies where there's no real measurement of the outcome and it's just money going out the door. CERB would have been an example of that. This, however, requires you to just put a little bit of skin in the game to make sure that you are focused on actually executing on the plan once it comes out. If you're wondering what grant is most appropriate for you, there's a grant assessment tool on the government website that'll help determine which one is the best fit. In my opinion, the best value and the most benefit for your business is obviously the Boost Your Business Technology Grant. Now, client eligibility. Once you've determined that you're in the market for this type of a program, you need to meet 4 criteria. First, you have to be a Canadian company. You have to be for profit. Sorry, the nonprofit folks, this program isn't for you. You have to have less than 500 employees, and you have to have at least $500,000 in annual revenues in one of the previous 3 years. Once you've met that criteria and you're the owner of the business, we can help you get your application into the system. And that truly is probably the most complex part of the program, is just applying. First, you have to create a Government of Canada account online, and there's a number of steps to verify your identity to make sure that you are a legitimate business and that you are the legitimate business owner. Once you've done that, however, it's easy. You simply pick from the drop-down menu one of any of the certified digital advisors across the country. And as I would say, I would highly recommend you choose SysGen because we are the only one in the Okanagan area that can provide this type of service. Once you've made that selection, the message will go out to us and you can start engaging us. Once you've completed the digital adoption plan, what do you do with that big plan? Well, now you need to execute on it. And now you have the option of getting an interest-free loan of up to $100,000. So if you think about this, you're a small business. You might have some cash on hand that you were planning to spend on maybe some new computers, a server, maybe a wireless network. However, by using the Canada Digital Adoption Plan and leveraging this interest-free loan, you do have the ability to get money and use it without accessing your own line of credit or your own savings and cash flow. That allows you to defer your payment, and it is a loan, so you have to pay it back to the government, but you have 5 years at 0% interest. So even if you had the money cash on hand, this is a far better use of funding from the government to make sure that you can take advantage of that and keep your own cash for other emergencies or additional needs. Now, how does the project get executed? Well, we've got a very detailed plan. In most cases, we think it'll take probably 6 to 8 weeks, and this allows for a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to vacations and conflicting meetings that you might have or other business priorities. So we've got some wiggle room in the program, but by the end of this project, you get a full digital plan as to how to improve your business. Now, what's your required investment of time and effort? It's really minimal. We're talking a couple hours at the beginning, and half of that is just applying to the government program online to get your identity verified. Once that's done, you're going to have a couple of meetings with us as your digital advisor, and then we do all the heavy lifting. The next 80 hours of work is going to be on us, on SysGen, to go and make sure that the plan that we deliver is tailored to your business. Then at the end, we're going to sit down with you again, go through the plan, and show you what we found and make our recommendations. And again, those recommendations by the government requirement have to be agnostic. And that just means we can't just recommend SysGen solutions to you. Every one of our recommendations has to take into account everything that might be available to you as a potential alternative in the marketplace, even if that's not something that we provide. And we've done that in many cases in the past, recommended a course of action that would require a company to go and engage a different third party. And we're happy to provide those references and recommendations to you. Now, once you have that plan, what does it look like? Well, there are certain government requirements. And one of the requirements is we can't execute on anything in the plan. We can only build the plan for you. And that plan is very comprehensive. We leverage our own expertise as an IT company to do that deep dive analysis on the technology infrastructure and your application side, but we're also going to dig into the cybersecurity elements. This is becoming an increasingly important part of every business, and we want to make sure that you understand where you're at in what we call the 10 dimensions of digital maturity. When you understand where you're currently at and where you can make some improvements in order to get better, it makes it a lot easier to make an intelligent decision about how to move forward. And that's our whole goal with this program. One final point just on the cybersecurity side of things, a couple of elements that clients often forget is that cybersecurity is more than just antivirus or anti-spam software. You can't just turn on one of those little pieces that you buy for, $5 or $7 a month and decide that your entire business is covered. The cybersecurity world is getting far more sophisticated. The attacks are becoming far more targeted. And even though you may be a small business, the fact that you use any Microsoft tool or any number of third-party tools, including Adobe Acrobat, could mean that you're at risk. One little tidbit of information is that Adobe Acrobat, we all think is just a PDF viewer. It's just something to view a flat document, but it's not true. If you're using an older, outdated version of Adobe Acrobat, you could actually be at risk. Hackers can embed code into that PDF that activates once you open that document. You think you're just viewing an image or a series of presentations, but you're not. It's actually doing something nefarious on the back end. That's where our services can come in, and there are additional layers of protection that you can and should be adding to your business to make sure that you're not at risk. We'll cover all of those things in our digital adoption plan. And how do you start that journey with us? It's simple. Contact us by reaching out to our local representative, Mike Swallow. He is the district manager here in the Okanagan and covers all of our service and support needs here locally. You see his number on the screen and you have his email. Or if you're somewhere else in the more remote regions of BC, or if you're joining us from Alberta today, just send your email directly to info@sysgen. In both cases, I recommend you put into the subject line CDAP. Let's get started. Anything to do with CDAP will get you pointed in the right direction, and we'll make sure the right person reaches out and answers your questions. And speaking of questions, let's address a couple. So what I've heard from most clients is, well, how difficult is it to get approved? And I answer that by saying, not very difficult at all. Actually, the forms from the government are probably the most difficult part of the process. But once you've been through it, like we have several times, we can guide you through that process, and it'll take anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour. The next biggest part of it is deciding where are you going to invest your time and money. And that's where our digital adoption plan really helps. We are going to prioritize and lay out for you the plan that you need in terms of what we think is the most important, but also in terms of relative cost and time to implement. Again, that's a requirement of the government of every digital adoption plan, and it has to be agnostic, meaning you can go to the market with that plan and see what's best for you. One of the other questions that I've often received is there a requirement to make the investments exactly based on the digital adoption plan? The answer is you have to follow the guidelines, but your exact choice of how and what you do is more open-ended. And that application through BDC is a secondary step in the process. And again, we'll help you through that. But that foundational element of completing the digital adoption plan is what gets you access to that up to $100,000 zero interest loan. So with that, I'm just going to pause for a second. I am going to check to see if there are any additional questions from our guests so that I can answer them before we move on. At this point, I don't see any additional questions. I do want to remind everyone that we do have local representatives here in the Okanagan. And for anyone that's joining us from Alberta, Edmonton, Red Deer, Calgary, we have a team of experts there as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been my absolute pleasure. We will be following up with everyone who attended the presentation and providing you the slides directly, along with a link to the recording of the presentation from today. We look forward to working with you in the future, and thank you again for attending.